We're live.
Hello, good evening, and welcome everyone to Effect Podcast's Alien the Colony campaign, episode 6, I think, The Beasts Within Us. Now, the very observant amongst you might notice that I'm not Dave. We look very similar, but yeah, subtle differences. Dave is off swanning himself, or marinating himself in a hot tub for the week. So I'm here as a guest gem of Alien the Colony for 1 week only. So I shall try not to kill off all the characters in the scenario, but we shall see how it goes. And hopefully I will meet the mostly adequate standards of the Effect podcast. So let's kick straight off. I'll launch into the introduction to the scenario, and then I shall get the team to introduce themselves. So what is the story so far? The short year is moving into spring, and the weather is warming up. The increase in the warmth has led to stronger winds and bigger swells. Tides are noticeably bigger. The seas washing further up as the year progresses into summer. Great swathes of kelp from the northern polar regions have been washed south and are flowing through the nearby Notscha Strait. An expedition of farmers and scientists have been dispatched to study the seaweed, which kind of happened in the last session 2 weeks ago. At the same time as that is happening, Lasalle Bionational have other fish to fry. They're intrigued by the findings in the Notscha Strait underwater caves. For a few weeks ago, they want to investigate further, initially by talking to the people who were there. Of those people, Victor Drubov and Ming Yijun currently seem to be off the base somewhere, and nobody seems to know quite where they are, so they can't find them. Lidmila Arajan is still in custody for having assaulted Corporal Graf in the cave, very rudely. So Lasalle put together a team to go and find and talk to Yin Shufen. Now, Shufen had been in sickbay under observation following the events in the cave, but she's recently discharged herself and returned to Kursk outpost, which is where she had previously worked. Now, Kursk outpost is an underwater scientific observation station about 130 kilometers to the southwest of Solovetsky Island. So the team has been tasked by Lasalle with going to Kursk outpost to talk to Shufen about the discoveries in the cave. And the team that have been put together to perform this task are... John, do you want to go first?
Let me just unmute myself. Hi, I'm John. I'm playing Ash Campbell, a Lasalle exec. So I'm playing a company agent or corporate agent, whatever they're called. Yeah, so he's kind of been involved in a little bit here and there, but he's not under the thumb of Inspector Shu this week. So hopefully he will be
normally?
able to... He's not under the thumb, but Inspector Shu seems to have a way of mucking about with what Campbell wants to do. But we'll see what happens this week.
Cool. Bruce, introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm playing Xavier Delonoy. I am a LaSalle xenobiologist, part of the colony. And after the last session, normally Delonoy has been quite easygoing. He's been okay with the UPP, but after the last session, where it was involving Verdine and Ibex trial, he has become a bit concerned about the UPP security, especially after witnessing the commissar using his gun to make people stand down rather than politely talk. And he has become a bit suspicious as well, like Zoo's behavior of splitting up the group. So he's a wee bit, there's something not quite right here now.
Marvellous, thank you. And Craig.
I'm Corporal Graf. I'm the UPP representative today. and I am normally under the heel of the shoe. I'm
been let out for the day.
I'm the junior non-com officer that does all the dirty work, the dog's body, the heavy lifting. He does what he's told to most of the time. But today looks like he might be his own boss.
Cool, thank you. So just to say, because there was one comment in the comments, there were Dante Arlovsky was originally assigned to go on this mission as well, but at the last minute couldn't make it because in real life Will's son had a little accident. Hopefully it doesn't sound like it's too serious, but unfortunately a little trip to get some stitches in some his cut lips apparently was his joy for this evening rather than playing this game. So unfortunately we're down to 3 on this mission, but hopefully the individuals assigned to the task will be up to it. Before you go, actually, one question I had is: do any of you have any piloting skill? Do any of you know how to pilot a dipper?
Nope.
You're muted, John.
We might need an NPC.
So yeah, an NPC pilot will be assigned by Lasalle to your mission. It's a guy called Andre James. Don't think you know him well. Fairly low level, but yeah, he'll pilot the dipper for you to get you to Kursk outpost.
Okay, that's perfect.
So, is there anything you want to do before you head off? Then let me quickly show you the map actually of where you're going. I'm going to now. Let's see if I share my screen and go full screen. So with a bit of luck, you might be able to see a map shortly. Let me know when you can, if you can.
We can see it in a Windows view. But yeah, we can see the map.
Is it because I can't? Because I've only got one screen, so Strain and StreamYard only seems to be letting me share the entire screen.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll live.
So if you can you see my cursor then?
Yes, we can.
Yep.
You're right in the middle.
Yeah. So Solovetsky Island is in the middle there. This is quite a fairly wide map. Kursk outpost is down to the southwest there. On this map, each X is 10 kilometers. In a straight line, that makes it about 130 kilometers. Actually, there's a bit of an island in the way. We should have to go around to get there, which makes the journey time around the journey distance about 150 kilometers. And depending on how fast you want to go, the kind of normal safe cruising speed of a dipper is about, on the surface of the water, about 50 kilometers per hour. So it's about 3 hours at kind of standard safe cruising speed. Okay,
Yeah,
Jonathan,
sounds good to me.
Take the map away, Jonathan. Let me know when you have.
Of course.
Otherwise, I'll.
There we go.
Cool. Thank you.
So before we head off, there was a couple of things. I was jotting down a couple of questions. So the first thing, because Shafin left the checked herself for sick bay, did she leave herself, or did they recommend that she should have stayed longer?
I think she discharged herself. Yeah, I mean, she wasn't being held there or anything, but yeah, she hadn't been formally discharged by the medical staff. She basically decided she'd had enough.
And did the medical staff have any concerns?
Not especially, no. I mean, I don't think she'd had any injuries or anything. I think she'd, particularly, I think she had complained of some headaches or something, but nothing serious. And she was being kept under observation for just for kind of reassurance. But there was no suggestion there was anything kind of seriously wrong. So I don't think there was. When she discharged herself, I don't think there was any particular concern.
Okay. And the other thing I was going to ask is Kursk outpost. Is it populated by other people, or is it just going to be Shufen there?
It is populated by other people, yeah. So you know about Kursk outpost. So Shufen isn't a scientist. She's a roughneck kind of maintenance worker. Kursk outpost is a scientific observation station. It's an underwater observation station, so its role is mainly twofold: sampling the water at the depths, and to see the kind of the chemical makeup and biomatter that is in the water at that level. And it's also monitoring geology and seismology. It has a drilling rig set up, which lets it drill down and drive probes deep into the crust to monitor seismic activity. The maximum kind of normal crew level would be 12 people. I think you would know, you can probably find out easily enough at the moment. There's no secret about it. At the moment, including Shufen, there are 10 people working at Kursk outpost. It's on the sea floor, basically under the Notscha Strait, in a fairly deep chasm, about 200 meters deep, and it's on the seabed.
Well, given we're definitely going underwater in my previous experiences with sabotage, I'm making sure I've got my own dive suit that I've checked over thoroughly.
So another thing you would know is that it's 200 meters down. The dippers are very much not rated at that depth. I think normally they go down to about 50 meters as a maximum safe depth. They can go a bit further than that, maybe to 80 meters theoretically, but that's a bit risky. You certainly couldn't get it down to 200 meters. So there is basically an elevator tower built from the outpost back up, not quite to the surface. It terminates about 20 meters below the surface, and there's an airlock and a docking station at that. So normal routine is you would take your dipper down 20 meters, dock at the lift shaft, go through the airlock, and then take the lift down to the station from there.
And I just want to check as well, you mentioned Drubov and Yayun are currently off base at an unknown location. Is that off base and wanted because no one knows where they are, or just no one is saying where they are?
Can you make I guess, I mean, who are you asking?
I'm probably asking, like, maybe not Inspector Shu because he's obviously busy right now, but another member of the senior security team. Like, do I need to apprehend them if I come across them?
The other player who isn't here tonight.
The commissar, isn't it?
The commissar.
Yeah.
I think they're probably, I think whoever you talk to probably doesn't really know very much. I think these are quite low level people. I think there hasn't really been any alarm raised at the moment. I think you get the sense from the way people react to your question, they're kind of thinking, oh, that's a bit strange, maybe we'll need to look into that. But nobody seems to know where they are. They definitely seem to have left the base, taken a dipper and gone in slightly, what may be a slightly unauthorized fashion. So nobody's particularly showing any alarm, but they're kind of going, yeah, that's a bit strange, actually. I'm not quite sure where they've gone.
Okay, so keep an eye out.
So you kind of think maybe people will start looking into that shortly. So yeah, if you do spot them in the travels, then I guess, observe them. I'm not sure apprehend them. It depends what they're doing. I guess if they look like they're doing something dodgy, use your skill and judgment at that moment to judge whether apprehension is the appropriate response or just a little quiet chat.
Okay. Yep.
I was thinking there was something I wanted to ask, but I can't think of what it is now. I think Campbell is prepped and ready to go. I don't think he's taking any particular extra steps in terms of survival gear. But yeah, no, it's good to get out with the non-execs for a bit and do a little leg work, stretch his legs, as it were. So yeah, Campbell's looking forward to this in as much as he can look forward to it, because it's not exactly a holiday.
No, it isn't. It's definitely work.
So I suppose.
Sorry, Bruce, go ahead.
Okay, just one thing, just tapping into it before we set off. It might be in relation to what you're thinking, John. It's what is the sales? They just say, just talk to this person. We just want to know what they found out there, or to use that horrible phrase from corporate and companies. What's the tone from the top from our big CEO head from there? To come out an interview.
I think it's that this is just the start of the kind of routine. I think what will be a scientific or a geological investigation. So they're not. They went. These people went to the cave. That was probably a bit unauthorized, but I think that side of it has been dealt with. I think people are interested in what they found, the discoveries they made there. So I think it's the steer that you're getting is that this is to just have a chat about what they find, about what they found there, to inform a potential future expedition back to the caves.
Excellent, thank you. That was along the lines of what I was thinking, but I drew a complete blank.
Okay.
I was just going to quickly double check. Shufen's Lasalle, isn't she? She's not UP, or is she UPP?
No, she's UPP.
Right.
She's UPP. Yes.
All the roughnecks, all the dog's bodies on this colony are UPP.
You mean the honest workers?
Sure, if you want to put it that way. And then all the high-paid, knowledgeable, educated scientists and corporate types are all Lasalle, I think.
Scientists? What about that fine scientist Dmitry Ivanovsky?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Top scientist.
I think there's only one PC scientist in LaSalle at the moment.
Yeah,
I don't think we have another one.
No, I think LaSalle is generally outnumbered when it comes to players, at least. Everyone wants to be a communist, it seems.
This is your opportunity, then.
Space communist.
Well,
that's important.
Space communist, yes.
You are outnumbering the space communist on this mission.
We take a photo for prosperity, because it's never going to happen again in this game. Okay, I've got nothing else. I will check the suits, but I'll do that and the survival gear as we go on the journey as well. So I'm not going to do anything, just making sure everything's going to work fine for survival capabilities.
So do you have your own suits? Because the Dipper, as standard, will have 3 compression suits.
Yeah.
Within it.
I don't have anything special for my equipment on that side, so no.
Yeah, whatever comes with the Dipper.
Yeah.
Graf, did you say you had your own suit, or you?
No, I'm just going to make sure I grab one that I have a chance to check over.
You'll do a personal check before we leave.
Yeah, so I'll maybe go to the next dipper in the next bay over and swap the suits so I get one. I know. You only get caught out once.
So yeah, you can check the compression suits on the dipper. You can swap them over. They all appear to be in full working order, fully charged with air, intact and operational. No signs of any damage or breaches. They all appear to be fine.
In which case, I think we probably want to get on our way, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's head out.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, you head out. Are you just kind of staying on the surface, going at normal cruising speed?
Whatever the pilot suggests.
That's definitely what the pilot suggests. That'll be standard operating practice, unless there's a particular reason to go underwater or to go faster.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think we're in any rush. We're not out to apprehend fugitives or anything. So,
I mean, this place is outposts are far apart, but they're not very big. So I don't think we're gonna get that lost or anything.
No, I think the pilot knows the way.
While we're traveling, Campbell will strike up a bit of a conversation with Graf, because we've done some stuff in the past, fairly early on, I think it was, cross paths, but also just related to at least what I'm remembering, which might not be correct because I wasn't around in the previous session. But Graf, were you part of all this stuff to do with the cave diving before, or?
Yeah, the inspector sent me out just to offer some backup. I mean, it's a good thing too, given they tried to attack us on sight.
What can you tell us about us? What can you tell us about what was going on out there? What was found in the cave search? Just
don't know much about that. I mean, they were getting impatient.
Okay.
Wanted to just push out.
Yeah, strike out, be the wildcatters that they are, I guess. A piece of paper report only gives you so many details at the end, and once you're reading a piece of paper versus actually talking to people, it's very different. So I'm hoping to glean some insight from certainly from Yi Jun. Is it Ming Yi-jun?
No, it's Shu Fen.
Shu
Fen that you're going to
Apologies, yes, Shu Fen.
No, Drubov and Yi-jun are missing at the moment, which I find mighty suspicious. But no one else seems to care right now.
Oh, okay, I'm getting my names mixed up. Shu Fen, yes. As we're going to try and catch up with her to have this conversation. I'm trying to arm myself with as much knowledge as possible, but if you have nothing to offer, that's okay.
What can I say? I mean, they got impatient. They wanted to hit Rich. Thought we were going too slowly, and then tried to assault us, and they weren't expecting me. I mean, even
I feel like there's a story there. Do you fancy giving me the quick rundown?
The quick run. He spins his rifle round so that the butt is up and goes, "This to the head."
Very nice. Very nice. All right.
Oh, and I take it they put in the report about the worm things.
Worm things.
The acid
Probably.
eating worm things that chewed through suits, burrowed into flesh, screaming, acid.
That I don't remember seeing on the report. Someone may have chosen to leave that out. So that's a concern.
That's very disappointing if that's the case being said out loud, because that could be fascinating study. You can bring some of it back.
That was the problem. Everyone thought they were fascinating to study until it got under their skin.
Fascinating study indeed. I think I'll study them from a distance of a few other people in front of me. That's not the talent that my character has. Maybe I should get it. Yeah, this conversation goes on, but I can't think of anything else in particular to ask or add. So,
okay, that's fine. The pilot carries on the way, and eventually, after a few hours, you approach. I mean, the sea's quite not necessarily that rough, but as you get into the open sea, the swells are quite high, but nothing that's kind of particularly problematic for the Dipper. And you approach Kursk outpost. Now, as I said, on the surface, there's nothing to see. Particularly the docking station to the Dipper is about 20 meters under the water. So as you approach, the pilot takes the Dipper down towards the docking station. The docking station has a couple of docking points for Dippers. As you approach, you can see there's one Dipper already docked there. But the pilot takes the Dipper in and docks on the other docking station, and successfully docks. So you'll know this then leads to basically a lift shaft with a couple of lifts that then go down chute tower to the outpost, 200 meters down.
Just before we go down, they are expecting us to turn up and be there. This isn't going to be like a surprise visit. We have let them know or contact them, because the last thing we want to do is hook up, head down, and go, "Who are you?" Sort of thing when we get down there.
I'm not sure. Did you?
I specifically made no request to communicate or signpost our arrival.
So
I just
no,
get told where I'm going.
I think you haven't. I don't think there's any. It's a bunch of scientists, so I'm not sure they're going to. People are probably coming and going fairly regularly, so probably not going to be an issue. But no, I think it sounds like you haven't particularly announced your presence.
But before we go down and drive, we'll just dock them and say that we're here for a visit. Just catching up, and hopefully some of them will know really that I'm very interested in the work that they do, anything that goes on scientific behavior, and we're on for a visit. And we'll also ask, just to check, if Shufu's there as well with the personnel, and Drubov and Yejin, a check of whether there's been any additional people there with them. So just try and open up communications.
The comms unit doesn't seem to be working. You're not getting any response.
Try checking it from our end. Make sure it's not a fault with the side.
Are we in the Dipper, or are we on top of the lift?
I think it depends. It depends how this goes. Since we're going into that unit, it's probably, if we're at the top of the lift, maybe it's just best to communicate down from the lift, because I'm sure there'll be comms down there, given that this is underwater.
Yes.
Try and get through.
Physical comm line.
Yeah, we'll try the physical. The old red phone on the left or something, the emergency phone.
I think so. Yeah, there is like a comm thing by the side of the lift, but again, it doesn't seem to be working, so you're not getting any response from it.
I'll check it. I'll check it for it. I've got a bit of contact. Not my strongest.
Yeah, I'll make a ComTech roll then.
Just let me bring up the character sheet. That is going to be 6 dice. One success.
You can't see any fault at this end, as far as you can tell.
Can we radio back to base, find out when they last heard from the outpost?
I think you can from the Dipper, yes.
Yeah, let's. Solvetsky Island, when was the last time you heard from Kursk? Kursk?
Kursk.
No, Kursk.
Kursk.
Not Kursk. Kursk outpost. We've just arrived, but we can't. We haven't gone down the lift, but we can't seem to communicate with anyone yet. When was last contact?
Give me a minute. I'll just check the logs.
Reads DM's notes.
They come back and say, yeah, we had the routine report check-in yesterday as normal. That's what we'd expect. We wouldn't expect to hear from them again for a while.
Okay.
Not unless there was an issue from the outpost.
Wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised, given it's full of scientists. They're just not paying attention to the comm line.
Yeah, I know the type. Graph.
Sorry, what?
Right. Don't know. Looks like we're not going to be able to announce our presence. We should just head down.
Well, okay. I
turn
think,
back to the pilot in the skipper, whatever it's called. I can't remember their name either.
Andre James.
Andre James.
Who's the pilot? Are you leaving him in the Dipper?
Yeah.
Or is he going to come down as well?
No, we'll leave him in the Dipper. We'll just be like, Andre, stay here, prep the Dipper. I don't expect we'll be leaving immediately, but it's better to. I don't expect we'll be leaving very shortly, but it's better to be ready. I don't think we're staying for the long haul. Hopefully, we can be back before the end of tomorrow, because it's a short day cycle here, isn't it? Yes. My character would obviously know that. The player is still a bit iffy. So yeah, we won't want to be out too long. So if you don't mind just staying here, we'll head on down.
Okay, that's fine. Yep. Just give me a shout when you're ready to leave.
And if you spot anyone else approaching, I don't know how many Dippers are normally here, but if there's anyone out on recon, it would be nice to know when they're on the way back.
Okay, sure.
Yes, actually, do I have a... No, I don't. That's a different character, even possibly in a different game. I was going to say I had some kind of personal communication device. I don't.
We just
yeah.
Okay.
Got the motion tracker, and I've got my compression suit. I'm going to put on one of them.
So you're putting on your compression suit, did you say?
Yeah, because we're going down. We don't know what the state is, so trying to pick up onto it. I think for me, my survival instincts, we're going down into an area. We're going down a lift quite a few feet. Want to try and at least have the least safety and be sure the emergency protocols are there as well, in case anything goes wrong. I'm in sort of survival mode, but hopefully everything's fine.
Graf and Campbell, are you putting on compression suits? These are Mark 50 compression suits, so they're quite good ones, but they're quite rigid ones. You do get -1 to all agility-based rolls while you're wearing it. They do provide some armor, also, however. 2 dice of armor. Should that be?
Graf?
Yeah. And if there's an issue with the comm line, it could mean there's damage to the site. So I'm going to suit up.
Okay. Campbell sees the two of them suiting up and makes a snide remark about the way that they are preparing for the worst, as he just pulls out a 357 Magnum. He goes, "If we're preparing for the worst, we might as well."
I mean, Graf has got his pulse rifle on his back, so
Yeah. Like, if we're preparing for the worst, and this is a corporate agent, so he's there in a suit. He's there in a suit. Like, the worst thing, the most prepared thing he does is he takes off his jacket and rolls up his sleeves. Like, all right.
Oh, don't forget your most important thing for corporate is to have your.
Oh yeah, collar up.
So you're getting your gun ready, but are you also putting a compression suit on?
I am not. No.
Okay, fine.
I need that agility.
Oh, I'm just because we're going underwater. I'm more thinking about if there's a leak or a crack. But okay, fair enough. That's we will go down. But I'm not.
Okay, we'll go down. If it starts getting a bit damp, I'll just take the ladder up and get a compression suit, and see you in 20 minutes' time.
Well, there'll be, you'll know there'll be compression suits down there, unless obviously the whole place is full of water, in which case it might be problematic.
Well, let's find out then, shall we?
So,
let's go down. Yeah.
Yeah, the lift appears to be working fine. It comes up, and you go down the lift. Let me share. Right. So I now think I'm sharing the map of the outpost.
There we go.
Yeah.
You can see this map. I think there's no kind of secret stuff here. You'd have been able to have a look at the map of the outpost before you came.
Can you full screen the image at all, or are we limited to this?
I think
you might
unless
go to bottom right.
I can do that. That's
probably
the
that just does that. That is not what I was hoping for, but that's okay. We'll go with it.
I mean, I can probably zoom in a bit to it. Oh, that's the other map.
I've just full screened what I'm looking at. So
what I can do is I can zoom in and then kind of scroll around as you move around, if that helps.
Nice.
I can't do that while it's full screened, I don't think. No, it just goes to that.
It's fine.
Let's leave it at that for now.
Yeah.
I think StreamYard seems to expect you to have two screens and share one of them. Well, I haven't got two screens, unfortunately. So you're coming down in one of these lift shafts here. At the bottom, there's airlocks between the lift shafts and the main bulk of the base. The kind of quickly run through something that you would know about this. This is obviously a science outpost. One of the main things that it does is study the water. So there's quite strong currents coming past here. So on the left-hand side here, there's sluices. As the water passes through, it can be siphoned off into the science labs for study. Within the sluices, there are gates that can be shut, so the water can be pumped out, so people can go in there for maintenance. Science labs are there. There's this room here where the geological probes are is basically the room where they drill down into the crust underneath the base, and they send probes down to monitor seismic activity. That room has airlocks going into it, just in case there's any the drills kind of hit like a pocket of gas or something that nasty that then comes up. There's accommodation halls, rec room, the command office down the bottom there, and a control center, and then a lab, and obviously a reactor for power.
Excellent.
As you get down to the bottom, from that side, you can't really see. There doesn't seem to be. The place doesn't seem to be full of water.
Power on?
I think, yeah, power seems to be on. I think these airlock doors probably have portholes in, so from the actual lift, you probably can't see very much. But as you kind of go into the airlock, you can see through into the ready room. There's nobody there, but there's no kind of sign of any water or leakage or any other problem that you can see.
Is there a comm panel or anything to just message to the control center?
There will be a comm panel there, yeah, if you're going out into the ready room. The ready room, as you can all see, has a number of compression suits. They're Mark 50 compression suits.
Excellent.
And looks like there's only 6 there, even though there's 10 people on the base, which is not quite enough, but there we go.
Oh, I think I'll turn to Campbell and go, you want to let them know we're here while we get out of these things?
Yeah, sure. I'll head over to the comm panel and just say, ready room to command officers. This is Lasalle Executive Campbell. I'm looking for Senior Officer Zoe Davis. Please respond.
Yeah, you don't get any response.
I will widen it and I will try other channels and I will just say, this is LaSalle Executive Campbell. We've just arrived. Can anybody please respond?
Yeah, you just get crackling silence.
That's not very comfortable. Are they sure they had people here? Are you sure we're not being sent by another wild goose chase by then nudges to like Graf to like the UPP because he's only representative?
Hey, we wouldn't leave this place abandoned now.
Well, why? What would...
You mentioned there's only 6 pressure suits. Are there spaces for more?
No.
No.
There
so
aren't.
It's not like
It looks
any
like
missing of that.
No, it doesn't look like it. It looks like that's how many were over there. It doesn't look like any have been taken.
Okay. I'm going to look at Graf. I'm going to say, well, no one's communicating with us, so I think we need to proceed with caution. Delanoy, you may want to take the rear.
Okay, but before we start wondering aimlessly, let's see if we can find anybody. And Delanoy takes out his emotion tracker that he brought down with him in the compression suit. Rather than us wandering around all over the place, it might be handy to find out where exactly they are. Normally, I try and tune this for life forms, but let's see what we can get.
Well, we are looking for life forms.
And while he's doing that, yeah, I think while Xavier's doing that scan, I want to send a message back up to the Dipper just to let the pilot know what's going on, so that he can send it back to the base.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you can do that.
Cool. I'll definitely be suggesting that Graf take point as we move out forward, though Delanoy will be using the motion tracker at some point, I guess.
So are you doing a scan with the motion tracker now?
Yes, rather than us wandering around aimlessly just to try and get a point where we might think the best location is there. So it's a power roll first. I'm just checking to.
Yep.
Three. So it doesn't lose any power. It's a contact roll to find somebody.
I don't think it is. I don't think you need to do a roll. I think you can just use it.
Yeah.
I think.
Just tells us a ping. Let's see.
Yeah. So you do detect a few pings, maybe 4 or 5. There's a few in the science labs, that kind of general direction, and then possibly a couple more in the kind of the far corner, which could be down where the command offices are. They don't seem to be moving particularly fast, any of them, but there is a bit of movement.
So you say a few, so at least 3 in the science labs and 2.
Yeah, I think if they're quite close together, it's probably hard to distinguish them on the motion tracker, but you would guess possibly 3 in the science lab.
Okay.
And maybe 2 in the command offices, as far as you can see.
Well, I'll let Delanoy tell us first.
Yeah. So like, we've got movement in the science labs, and I just think they're being rude and ignoring you in the command office. A couple there.
I don't think you're wrong. I would be more interested, though, in heading straight for the command office, although the science lab is on the way.
I would say the control center. They should have cameras set up in there. We should
call.
Hopefully be able to see the entire base.
Yeah, good call. You can get there.
It's pretty direct from what I remember of the layout.
Okay, control center first then.
Yep. I'll take point. I'm perfectly happy to do that. But he won't. He'll have his gun in his hands, but not like pointed anywhere. It's just on its sling, hand casually on the. I've lost the word for it.
Handle.
Handle, yeah. But not on the trigger.
The grip.
The grip.
Yeah,
That's what I was looking for. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, let's head to
Okay.
the control center.
Didn't mean to do that. There we go. So you're just kind of going by the most direct route, which would be through there and through there. The environment down here, so the walls are all pretty thick. The doors are heavy metal doors. It's pretty damp generally, and quite noisy with machinery.
So things are still moving. It's not like everything's gone dead quiet. So
No.
okay.
This
So,
is
yeah,
just weird. Someone should have been about. I mean, someone's got to be off shift and just in the rec room or the mess hall or wandering the corridors.
Yeah. All right. Well, can we get into the control center?
So you get through there. You don't see anybody as you go through. The doors. You closing the door behind you as you go? Are you trying to be stealthy, or are you just walking normally?
Probably just walking normally.
Yeah, I don't think we're trying to be stealthy. We've not seen anything. It's just the absence of people. There's no blood well, there isn't any blood, is there?
No. There's no sign of any.
It's all contained within the science labs. What's in the control center then?
As you walk into the control center, who's going first?
Probably me.
Oh, I think you'll probably all see this at the same time, so you can all take a point of stress.
Okay.
What you see is, as you enter the control, so the control center is the control center. There's a console there with various monitors and controls, obviously. There, in front of that desk, though, there is a scene which is disturbing for you. There's somebody kind of lying on the ground, looking, well, quite dead, as far as you can see, and kind of kneeling next to them, and with a knife in their hand, and just ramming the knife repeatedly into this other figure is somebody you don't know who it is. I don't think you necessarily can recognize any of them. But yeah, so this person is basically kneeling next to the other one and with a knife, and he's ramming the knife and going and looking just completely mad. As you walk into the room, they stop and turn and look up at you. Their eyes looking extremely glazed. There's no real kind of sign of humanity that you can detect behind them. And as you open the door, they look at you, then they stand up and start moving towards you. And I think we probably need to take initiative cards. Can you stop sharing the screen?
I can.
Just so I can, because I can't see you while I'm doing that.
There we go.
So, Corporal Graf, you're at the front, aren't you? So you can draw first. You're on 6.
6.
Who's second coming into the room? Jonathan, is that you?
Yes.
You are on 3.
Okay.
Dr. Delanoy, you're on 8. And the crazed individual in front of you is on 10.
Oh, damn it.
So, Campbell, John, you act first.
Ooh. Yeah, gun raised, and I'm going to yell at him, stop. Stop, stand back. If he's not responding to that, I'm going to...
Okay, yeah, I think you can do that as a quick action.
Yeah, I'm going to fire a shot that is not intending to hit him, but is
Okay, well, he's
nearby.
definitely not responding to your shout. He definitely looks like there's no kind of recognition in his.
I want to fire this
all.
shot near them, but hitting something that isn't, an external wall.
Well, that's
the trick of it, isn't it?
It is, because the control center is against the external wall. I think there's the console there. You could hit the control console instead. That would probably stop.
No, I might go for a leg shot, and I'll just go for a leg shot.
Okay, so now is there concept of cooled shot in this game? I can't remember.
Probably not.
I mean, that would probably be one of the stunts for
An aimed shot.
Look up in the rules.
Okay, let's go with that. It can be a stunt.
That is if I get enough
If
successes.
you get enough successes.
yeah.
Well, I've got one stress die already, and my ranged combat is 3.
I should have said this crazed thing that is now staring at you like a lunatic with a knife is dressed like a scientist.
Okay. I got 1 success and 1 panic.
Okay, so roll panics. It's d6 plus 1 for your 1.
I got a 4.
Okay, that's fine. You're still holding it together. And you got 1 success.
1 success.
So that does a point of damage to this person, but obviously no stun, so you can't really direct it. But
Sure.
it kind of hits them, and they stagger slightly, but they don't seem to kind of register kind of any particular pain or anything from that. But you did hit them, and there, some blood does spurt out. So, but doesn't seem to bother them that much. So, Craig, you're next. Corporal Graf.
Were they not before me? I thought they had a.
No, they're on 10.
Yeah, and I'm on 6.
Yeah, lower goes
Oh,
first.
sorry, I'm getting mixed up with systems.
Higher goes first.
Lowest goes first. So
you're
on 3.
Yeah, sorry.
You go. I think. I could be wrong, but
No,
Ascending.
I'm fine with that. Sorry,
It's descending, not ascending.
No, I think it's ascending in this game. I think it's descending in Coriolis. I think it's.
We're going 1 to 10.
Yes.
Yes.
In initiative.
That's
I believe that is
ascending.
how it works in this game, but I am going to check.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Number
it is.
1 acts
it's 1 to
first,
10.
2 acts
Yeah.
second. So yes, it's. I think Coriolis does it all around, or A game does it all around.
I was getting my words mixed up.
How close are they to me?
They are. Could possibly go wrong. Probably not that far. It's not. The room itself is it's quite big. It's probably 10 meters across, but with all the consoles and stuff in, they're probably 4-5 meters away.
So would I need to use my fast action to get to them, or
If you wanted to engage them in close combat, then yes, I think you would. They're not that close.
yeah? I think I'm going to get in close and hit them really hard with the butt of my assault rifle. So I've got 1 stress, 5 strength.
Okay, so it's a close combat roll.
Close combat. So that's a lot of dice. That is 3 successes.
Okay, so the first success, it's probably 1 damage for that, but 2 other successes, you can either do more damage, or you can do a stunt, or you can do another damage and a stunt.
I want to knock the knife out of their hand.
Okay, yep, so for 1 of the successes, you can do that, definitely.
And then damage for the next
Okay.
success.
Okay, the knife is knocked out of their hand, kind of flies across the room, and they stagger back from your hit, which does, there's a kind of whereabouts were you hitting them
Probably
on the head?
just torso, just to
Okay.
biggest target.
Okay, yeah, that does knock them back a bit. They certainly did seem to feel that.
And
That's your action,
I'm
Doctor.
probably just shouting at them, just get down.
Dr.
Stop
Delanoy, your action.
resisting.
Well, I am not a combatant. Definitely not that. But I am going to try and keep back. Actually, go rifle through the medical kit, looking for something to sedate if he comes near me from either first
It's a
aid or medical.
she actually. But
She, sorry, yep.
yeah, I didn't really describe that properly, but there we go. Yeah, okay. You have do you have a medical kit of your own with you?
Probably not. If we've not taken one down, I'll probably try and look for if it's nearby in the control room. I'll use it. If not, then I'm staying back and letting these two.
Yeah, I don't think you can immediately see a medical kit in the control room. No.
Okay. Yeah, try and look around, and maybe just keep an eye in the back to make sure nobody else is coming up.
Yeah, so it's her action, and she turns to Craig as she's standing right next to her, and again her eyes are just blank, really. But she kind of cries out like in anger, and she's not armed. She just punches you. But it's quite an ineffective punch, actually. And does no damage at all. And John, it's your action again.
Sweet. Campbell's gonna put the gun away. The warning shot, as it were, did not work, and he's also not particularly well trained in this. And he's going to try and get involved by grabbing the woman to try and restrain her.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the goal, although it's not going to be great because it's probably going to be strength-based. So,
well, I think it'll be to try and grapple it would be a close
combat
roll, I would think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a close combat stunt.
Close combat stunt. So I have to get multiple successes to do it properly.
Yes.
I got a panic, so I can't even push.
You can't push, no.
But I got a panic and no success. So that panic is 5.
Again, that's fine. You're holding it together. Corporal Graph, it'll be... So I think you would have had to use a slow action to close because you were still on the other side of the room, I think. So that, I think that's your actions.
Yes.
I'm going to do the same, try and clobber her, and if I can get enough successes to grapple her.
Okay.
Well, that's 2 successes and 2 ones as well.
So on your panic dice?
No, on regular dice. It's only ones on.
That's fine. Yeah, it's only on the panic stress dice that it matters.
In that case, I'm going to push.
Yep. So take another point of stress.
Yep. That's better. So that's 4 successes total.
Okay, what do you want to do with those successes?
I think one to grapple her, and two to harm her, one to knock her prone, and then one to grapple while she's prone.
Okay, yep, you can do all that. So she goes down. She's actually looking quite badly hurt now. But yeah, she is down, and you have got her quite well restrained. Bruce, Dr. Delanoy.
Oh, she's down. Try and help. Put her down. Nobody's coming up behind. There's no anybody else coming around behind us, or any other signs of movement. Check on the motion tracker.
Okay,
Obviously.
check on the motion tracker then. I'm just going to put the map back up again. Hang on, if I just...
No power loss.
Okay, I'm trying to share the screen again. Jonathan, if you can
Yeah.
let me know when you can see the map.
Yep,
Yeah,
I can see that.
So on your motion tracker, you do see some movement. So the pings that you had before from the science labs, some, not all of them actually, some of them are kind of heading what looks like in your direction. You can also see a couple of pings now moving kind of over in the rec room area and kind of heading out this way. You also see a ping actually, no, that's probably going in the same direction. So yeah, so the so you see a few pings. The ones in the science lab kind of look like they're heading away, and then a couple in the rec room are also heading. So yeah, it does look like there is some movement in your direction.
Yeah. Cool. We got more people are seeming coming through. Have you secured it down? Can we get into the room and shout that out before they?
If someone's got some cable ties, would be handy.
Let me just check my character sheet. No.
So I think that is probably your action.
Yeah.
Dr. Delanoy, because we are still in. I think because she's restrained, but she's not broken yet. So she will try and break out of that grapple. So she's going to attempt to break free from your grapple, and it's an opposed close combat roll.
Can help be given in this, although or not? That's normally outside of combat, isn't it?
Yeah, so not.
I'm just thinking because
at the moment, so
there's gonna Campbell's going to be there trying to help out with help out with the grapple. Graf is there trying to help out with the grapple. So
Graf has got her grappled already, and I think that was it. So you haven't really had your action since then. So
no,
I think
okay.
On your next action you could kind of add to the grapple if you like, but
sure.
for the moment, again, this is each round is 5 seconds. So at the moment, only Graf has got a grapple. So it's an opposed close combat roll between her and Graf.
Great.
So she gets 2 successes on her close combat roll.
So did I. So I don't know how that. Did she need to equal or beat me?
I think she needed to beat you to break free from it. Yeah. So
right.
basically, she has to beat you. So every success that you roll eliminates one of her. So yeah, you manage to hold on, and she can't break free from your grapple, but she's looking pretty crazy. She doesn't seem particularly stronger than you would expect necessarily for a normal human, but she does seem
Persistent.
pretty great. Yeah, and like I say, not at all amenable to being talked around, shall we say? So it's Campbell. You're round to your action again.
Yeah, I'm going to assist with the grapple, try and contain her still. Pardon me, although out of character.
Yep.
Are you suggesting that we need to break her before she will stop?
Before she'll stop trying. I mean, you can, like, say, if you've got a way of tying her, then that could restrain her. But basically, she's not going. You don't get the impression that she's going to stop.
We don't have anything to properly restrain her, so I'm gonna try and knock her out, I guess, with a close combat.
Close combat. So with you just hitting her, or you're using an implement. Do you have an implement you can use?
The butt of my 357 Magnum.
Fine. Close combat roll. It is then.
It is. I'm on. Am I on 2 stress now?
I think so. Yeah, because you pushed a roll, didn't you?
I did. Yeah.
And you had 1 from seeing this in the first place.
Yeah,
so yeah,
that's right.
2.
So I'm now on 5 dice, and I got nothing. So I'm going to push again.
Take another point of stress.
This is a very stressful situation.
I think it is quite a stressful situation, to be fair.
I got 1 success. That's 1 point of damage.
Yeah, so that does seem to be enough, actually. She does then kind of go limp and kind of seem to be unconscious after that. But it's still initiative because you have got these other pings that Dr. Xavier detected on his motion detector. So, Colonel Graff, it is your action again. Craig?
Are Ash and Xavier in the control center now?
Yes. I think they are.
I think I'm going to basically get in just a bit back from the doorway so that I've got line of sight down that corridor.
Yep.
And then kneel, rifle raised, and wait and aim essentially, and be ready to shout at anyone that comes around the corner to stand down.
Overwatch?
Okay.
Yes, I forgot that was a... So yeah, Overwatch then.
Okay, act first.
You can do that, yeah. So pretty soon, after a few seconds, you do see. I was pointing at that with my pencil. That's not going to really help, is it? So around this corner, you do see 3 more people. A couple of them looking like maintenance worker types, and 1 scientist, and they're heading not particularly fast, but they're heading towards where the noise was coming from. They are definitely heading your way. Their RAs are staring in a similar kind of vacant fashion as the person you've just been fighting, and they are heading towards the control center. As they pass this door here, the door opens, and there's a bit of kind of mingling. Another couple of people come through, and there's kind of, they all kind of walk into each other and start mingle. Some of them go back through the door.
Well, at that
some of
point,
them-
I think I'm going to shout at them and just in a sort of an authoritative voice. UPP security, get down, arms out, face down on the floor, or I will open fire.
Yeah, a few of them, they just seem to ignore you, and they're still 4 or 5 probably, you can see, heading straight for the control center.
I'm a man of my word. I'm going to open fire on the first one.
Okay.
I mean, we might be crossing the streams here, but in Dave's absence, you might want to try automatic fire as well.
I'm going to put one down and see how it responds, how they respond, and then I was looking at the full auto rules, but let me just double check. Ranged combat. Now, sadly, I am not as good at this as I am at hitting things. Do I get anything from my rifle? Well, that's 1 panic and no successes.
Okay, so you need to make a panic roll. Then how much stress have you got?
That puts me up to 3 stress.
Okay, so roll a d6 and add 3 to your panic.
That's an 8.
Okay, 8. So you start trembling uncontrollably. All skill rolls using agility suffer a -2 modification until your panic stops.
-2 to agility, okay.
So then it is. So that's your action, I think. Unless I guess you probably still have a quick action if there's anything else you want to do. And also because you panicked, didn't you?
Yeah. So that's
that. Also, you empty the clip of your gun. You'll need to reload. Which
so I'll do that in addition to the panic roll. Yeah.
Sorry, the reload.
Yeah, I emptied the clip and have the.
Yes. So
yeah.
Panicking basically empties the clip. Reloading will be a slow action, assuming you've brought some reloads with you. I imagine you probably would have. But like I say, you do probably still have a fast action, which is you can't reload, but you could do something else.
I'm trying to think what's actually useful. Fast action. Well, actually, no. My fast action was the Overwatch. Sorry. Was that not fast action to do the Overwatch?
To stream Overwatch is a fast action. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair point. Yeah. So that is your action then. Dr. Xavier. Bruce.
I
action.
Because this is the big challenge. See them. If he's emptied the clip and they're still coming towards, I do feel closing that door, that control room door, and trying to lock it, because we're certainly not up the shape for fighting. The graph is emptied his load onto the people.
Okay, yeah. So you're going to shut the door.
Yeah, try and close it, lock it, until we find out what's going on.
I think that's fine. I think you can do that. While you're doing that, can you make an observation roll?
Oh, it's 8 plus 1 dice. Might be his thing. Oh yes, it's the free league logic. The more dice you have, the less chance of a success you have. 9 dice, no successes. I'm going to push that. Yeah, I'm going to push it. So we can get 10 dice in those successes. Well, 2 successes and 1 panic.
Okay, so roll the panic. What's your how much stress have you got now?
2 stress, but it's actually 7 at the panic, so I think it goes up 1 more with the, because I got the worst possible panic. Oh no, correction, that'll be 8.
Yeah, so you rolled.
Yeah.
So you rolled a 6 on your panic, yeah.
Yeah, and it's 8 in total. So,
8 in total.
yeah.
Okay, so you're trembling as well. You're starting to tremble uncontrollably, and all skill rolls using agility will suffer a -2 modification until your panic stops. But you managed to get the door shut. As you're shutting the door, you notice, so behind these things, or the people, but somewhat crazed people heading towards you. Behind them, coming down here, and then heading through this door, you notice some little creatures, like kind of small, tan-coloured little creatures with tentacles. Not very big. The biggest probably 10 centimeters across. There's quite a few of them, and they're kind of scuttling. You see them scuttling along the corridor here and through that door. Just before you shut the door, you kind of spot that.
Okay. There's definitely an infection going on.
But you get the door shut. I don't think there's windows in these doors. But after you shut the door, you do kind of hear some knocking on the door outside, but it doesn't last for very long. And then it kind of quiets down. Is
it polite knocking or is it aggressive?
It's aggressive-ish. It's not polite knocking. It's not. Excuse me. Could I come in?
Knocking.
It's kind of bashing on the door. It's not that violent, but it's not somebody politely knocking to come in. No.
Large thumb. Okay.
Right. Are we still in initiative?
No, I think we're out of initiative now because these doors are really big and heavy. You've got no concerns really that these people are going to be able to get through the door. You've successfully locked it. I mean, conceivably they could unlock it and open it, but they don't. From what you can see, they don't seem to have any kind of rational thought processes, or based on the one you just fought, particularly.
Good shout, Delanoy. Graf. Well done keeping them at bay. Oh, crap. All right, let's take a look at some cameras. Delanoy, maybe...
I'm going to examine our friend here, see what I can find out.
Excellent.
I'm going to check whether the person being stabbed is alive or not.
Okay.
A good trial.
So there's going to be some medical aid rolls then, I think, to determine this. So who's going to go? Who wants to go first? Then let me just.
I have medical aid, but it's not great.
I don't have it.
Jonathan, stop sharing the map.
Oh yes.
Just for the moment until we need to read again.
There we go.
Thank you.
I don't have medical aid either.
Well, you've got time now. I think in here you're not immediately concerned that you're about to be attacked and overrun now. So if one of you has medical aid, you could probably go and look at both of them.
Yep. Yeah, I've got medical aid. Not great, but
okay, you're going to look at the stabbed personage first.
yeah, we'll check on the stab person. Then I'm going to check on the stabber, the stabby, and the stabber.
So the stabby, now that it's another scientist, male. I think they've probably got little name tags on that you can now look at. Now you're not in the middle of a fight. The stabby is a scientist called Sergei Baranov.
What's he a baron of?
Ha ha ha! Is this a time for jokes, Campbell?
I'm getting into the spirit of dad jokes before my daughter is born, so I'm just kind of getting into it.
Oh, you got a whole bunch of dad jokes to wait for later on.
Medical aid roll.
Okay, is anyone helping me, or is it just going to be me looking at?
I think it's just you. I can't remember.
Not much help.
Okay, that's fine.
I can't remember in this game whether you need the actual skill to be able to help, or whether that's Coriolis or not. But anyway, no, just
one success, no panic.
Yeah, Sergei Baranov sadly is dead. He's been stabbed multiple times in what appears to be a quite frenzied attack. Stabbed on his back and on the front, and he is very dead.
Nothing really to tell whether he was stabbed from the back first and then from the front, or nothing from that success, or
no. I mean, when you came into the room, he was lying on his back, being stabbed in the front. So you can conclude from that what you will.
Okay. Let's check on our.
Sorry, I'm just chuckling at Jonathan's comment.
Oh yeah. It's not just that; he's just spreading it around. It's not one stream I've got to get through. You know what you got to do next, Jonathan? You've just got to put it up on the screen, and it's immortalized in the video stream forever.
But you have to now that I've mentioned it. You probably have to.
If you insist, there we go. All right. This is what happens when the podcast hosts aren't around to hold us back, and by us I mean me.
Yeah, like we're really trying to stop you. Anyway, back to the stakeholder game.
Before you do, so I'm just going to say, Craig, you might as well answer your question about stress out, because it's not harm in kind of discussing rule stuff. The panic. Your question was, does stress increase when you roll panic? Not routinely, only if some of the panic results do result in increasing stress, but it's only if it says it in the panic result. So routinely it doesn't.
Yeah, I couldn't remember whether it automatically went up or not.
No, not unless you roll a result which does give you extra stress, which some do. But sorry, Bruce, go on.
No, it was okay.
He's dead.
And I check on the female scientist who was doing the stabbing.
You can tell now her name badge. This was Zoe Davis. Who was the commander of the the senior officer currently on the outpost.
Bollocks.
Well, you found her. One check for her. Is there any obvious, like, puncture marks, anything trying to observe what might appear into the state? Is there bite marks? Is there things that attach to her?
Is there a weird beige tentacle?
Yeah, or if we're doing crossovers, is there a little earwig thing coming out of her ear from? I saw it something in that UPP because they seem to like watching these old classic sci-fi shows.
I was looking for the little ridge on the back of her neck.
Yeah. So it's another medical roll.
It is another medical aid roll, yes.
One success, no panics.
So for that, what can you tell for one success?
Oh, an extra die for that, but that's fine.
Sorry?
Sorry, I realised I was only rolling 3 dice instead of 4 dice for my skill, but it didn't make any difference. It's still
Did
one
you roll?
success.
Did you roll the fourth one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't see any. You can't see any obvious puncture marks or anything. But I think you probably can get some indication of what's happened. I think in her kind of, she's got some drool coming out of her mouth, which is a strange sort of milky white color. And when you look at that, it looks like it's got kind of very small little kind of, it's like kind of seeds or spores or something in it. That could potentially carry an infection of some sort. You don't. I think for one, you can't really necessarily fully kind of diagnose it, but it certainly looks a bit dodgy.
I think while they're doing the medical exams, I'll obviously reload, but then we're in the command center.
Yep.
Is there a radio link up to the surface?
There will be, yes. Although, while Dr. Zave is examining the body, the lights do start flickering a bit on and off, and then they kind of come back on slightly dimmer than you'd expect.
Someone's just on the outside.
With the dimmer switch.
I'm
typical
going to
UPP
try and get a
design.
message to the pilot.
You can try.
Yep. Yeah, I'm just going to start hitting the button and just going, Andre, you reading us?
You're not getting any response, and actually, as the power's kind of glitching on and off, obviously the power on the console is glitching on and off as well. So you think that might be basically stopping the communicator from working?
I'm going to swear.
Cameras. We're in the control center. I'm assuming there are some cameras that we can observe. Hopefully, with the power glitching not too badly.
The power's looking a bit iffy, so you don't know.
Okay, well,
you can have a go.
7 dice in Comtech with 3 stress, so 10 dice. Hear that? 3 successes.
Okay, for 3 successes, I think you can for a brief few seconds, not for very long, because the power is glitching quite seriously now, but you can get control of the cameras just for a very brief time. It's not going to give you time to make a full survey of the entire facility, sure. But you might better have a quick look at a couple of cameras. So if you want to share the map up again.
Of course.
So did you say 3 success? Did you get 3 successes?
3 successes.
So for that, I think I will let you have a brief kind of 5-second look at 3 of the cameras around the base that you can choose which ones you want to look at.
Okay. Science labs, command office, and reactor.
Okay. So again, your other colleagues in agreement with that?
Yeah, the
Or
only
you
other
just
place I was
doing it?
thinking was the probes, in case they dug something up.
Okay, well, let's skip the reactor and go for the geological probes then.
So you're doing the science labs, geological probes, and the command offices?
Yes.
Okay, so in the science labs, you can see there's nobody in there anymore for the moment, but you can see on the shelves around the science labs, there's quite a lot of specimen jars, quite big specimen jars or specimen tanks, really. In the middle of these shelves, there's quite a lot of them have clearly been broken and smashed on the floor. Of the ones that are still intact, there's some what looks like the kind of fungal spores. So I think Jonathan at least would have seen the reports from the undersea cave. So in that cave, there were some kind of fungal spores that had been found, kind of globular fungal nodes that were kind of a few, maybe 5-6 centimeters across. And in some specimen jars around here, it looks like there's some of those that have been brought here for study. A lot of the around the broken tanks, there's kind of like slightly slimy trails where you imagine those little creatures that you saw kind of scuttling across the floor and leaving a kind of a slimy trail after them. But there's none of those creatures are left in here now, and there are no people in there. The command offices, when you look in there, everything looks strangely normal. There's no one in there, but there's no particular. It is an office, so there is a console with a comms console there, and officey type desks, but everything there looks strangely normal. No real sign of issues. And then it's the geological probes that you were looking at.
Yeah.
So in there, so this is again quite a big room, and where kind of these all these kind of little hexagons are points where drills have been sent down into. So obviously above this room would be the kind of the drilling rig that could move around to different points within that room and drill down into the crust of the planet underneath the sea floor here. So there's probably about 5 or 6 of these where these holes are still have the kind of drills sitting down in them. The rest of them just appear to be holes, obviously where people have drilled before. They have like clear plastic kind of safety rails around them. And there's computers at the side for analysis and stuff. But there's no particular signs of any disastrous events in that room.
As I take this in and I let the others know, science lab, geological probes, and command office looks clear. Damn it! I wish I could get a view. He says, player realizing he should have requested this, but the character goes, "Damn it! I can't get a hold of the camera at the hallway outside. Damn it!"
And then the cameras go off. The lights glitch again. This is kind of a red emergency lighting comes on. I think now and then the main lighting does kind of flick on and off in a particularly spooky and disturbing way. but it looks like the power is in a, something has happened to have quite a bad impact on the main power from the reactor.
So the way I see it, we got two priorities. One, get word out to the Dipper. Two, get a handle on this.
Bruce, you are muted. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, I just about started talking. I felt like I had to join in this while being muted situation. Yeah, or we could do option number 3, because I don't think the three of us are equipped to handle the space. If this space is affected and we stay here any longer, I don't want us to be affected. We're going to get up to I think we need to get back to the Differ and form the main base and get ourselves in quarantine and get this place quarantined down. Because something is affecting everybody. I don't know if these creatures are doing something, if it's pheromones in the air, if it's like the zombie fungus, and it could be anything until we get back and have proper facilities and get a proper team in here. We're only out here for inspection. We are not a cleanup crew.
Damn right. Okay. Delanoy, I absolutely agree. And I apologize for making those remarks earlier when the two of you were in those compression suits. They seem like they would have been very good ideas right about now.
They're only handy for going down on the lift.
Yeah, to be honest, I thought they just had some sort of problem with the pumps. Should have this blooming planet.
Graf, you're telling me, mate. As soon as I can get my paperwork in for another assignment, I am out.
I think while you're in the control center, you feel quite safe in there because you think they're not getting through the doors. If you want to take a minute to take a breath, you can all lose a point of stress.
What would
Do
the
I
point?
lose my
Yes, your
shaking it?
yes. You both lose your panic as well, so your agility is back to normal.
Can I also take a moment just to check out what else is in the control room, in the control center? Anything useful? A fire axe,
Fire extinguisher,
radios, torches, any sort of general
Flamethrowers,
nukes.
I'm sorry to be that guy in a role-playing game, but what's also on the bodies aside from the bloody knife? sorry to say out, but like access cards or anything. It's really what I'm thinking.
There aren't really access cards because down here there isn't any access control for any of the rooms. It assumes that nobody's going to be here who doesn't belong here. So no, there's no access cards. The two guys in here are scientists, so they probably haven't got anything especially useful. If you want to make an observation roll, maybe do a group observation roll. Whoever's the best at it, he can take a dice of help from the others.
I've got 8 in observation, and plus my 1 remaining stress makes it up to 9.
Yeah,
I've got 6 in observation.
I'm on 7, but I have not reduced my stress, so that makes me on 10.
Okay, I don't mind. You can choose who does it, but whoever does it can get a dice of help from each of the other 2, and this will determine what you can find in the control center.
How about it? Should I take it, or
do you want me to go with my 1 stress?
It won't be a flamethrower. Just say however well you roll.
However well I roll.
Your expectations.
Okay, 11 dice. Let's see how this goes. No, 11 dice.
12. If you're
12
not,
dice.
12.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 dice. Oh. Hear that. Hear that. 1 success, 1 panic. Oh.
Okay, so roll the panic.
It's a 1, so I got 4 in total.
Okay, that's fine. Then you're holding yourself together. But for that 1 success, I think you probably find a couple of torches. There's no kind of fire axes or anything in here, but yeah, there'll be some
torches. That'll do.
Torches which might be useful. And they can have, so you can find 2 torches with power 3 each.
Nice.
No.
Only 2 torches, yeah?
2 torches, yeah.
You point them, I shoot.
Yeah.
Point, and I can also keep an eye on the motion tracker as well. In fact,
Yeah.
if we're going to move, it might be a good idea just to check if they're still outside the door. It's awfully quiet out there. Too quiet.
So are you going to scan with your motion tracker again?
Yeah, just really I'm
Okay.
more interested outside the door. Lose a power, so I'm down to 2 for that, but
Okay, so thing to bear in mind with the motion tracker, it is a motion tracker. So if they're standing, it's not a body heat tracker. If they're standing still, it won't detect them. But you don't detect any movement in the corridor out here. You detect you probably detect some movement in kind of the rec room area towards the accommodation. There's some movement in the reactor. You can't really necessarily distinguish individual signals from the reactor, but there seems to be does seem to be some movement in there, and maybe a couple of signals in the maintenance room there. But that's all. That's all you can detect.
all right. It seems to be quiet out there.
So
Right.
are we making dash for the airlocks then?
Well, we can either try to dash or do we want to try and sneak? Unless you want to try and go in further to look for any more clues. Because we're not got very much here. We just know there's some sort of infection. The space is compromised.
There are things that we wanted to do, things that we wanted to learn, and this just hasn't worked out at all. And there's no telling that if we get back and tell them what we've learned, that we're not going to get thrown into quarantine as well.
Well, we'll have to go into quarantine. I'll even insist on that because I don't know how well this stuff goes.
Okay.
And I'm not risking the compromise from it. I mean, quarantine, at least they'll know the dangers and we know the dangers. In fact, I'll run some tests on us back with some of the medkits and see where we go through. But as long as we're not displaying, I don't even know if I'm concerned. Was this here where it happened with this team, or I hate to say it, did Sufin bring something along? Did we miss something? Because if she brought something in, then those other two, Drubov and Yijin, are they impacted? We've got to warn them, at least be careful. I mean, this isn't, in fact, this thing doesn't care whether it's UPP or Lasalle on the uniform. We need a proper team, and we're just not equipped for this. We didn't come out with this end in mind.
at the very least, we need to get a warning out before we do investigate any further.
Well, I suggest we try and sneak back to the
back
Dipper.
up to the Dipper. Yeah.
And we need, oh, damn it, we need to disable their Dipper as well. We need to make sure no one else gets off this base.
The other Dipper. Okay.
The other Dipper.
Shufin's Dipper. In fact, that's maybe a good question to ask. Did Shufin come out on her own, or did she kind of come back, or did she come out with a group? Was it like a team assigned, or she just like, I'm discharging himself from hospital, I'm taking this Dipper, I'm going to the space, see ya?
I think you would probably know she would have. She probably wouldn't be able to take a Dipper out on her own. She would have just hitched a lift with a couple of other scientists that were heading back out this way. So she probably got a lift with 2 of the other scientists that were on the base when she came back.
All right. Let's get back to the airlock. Get that message out. And then we either evacuate or we see how we're going.
I agree. Let's do it. He says, cocking the Magnum.
Okay. Well, let's do it.
Okay, are you sneaking? If you want to sneak, we'll need to do a group mobility roll, which will be whoever's worst at mobility has to do that. But I think you can still get help from the others.
5 in total. That includes the one from the stress.
6 in total.
I think it's probably based on what your mobility score would be without stress.
4 of them.
Oh, 4.
Mine is 4. Yeah.
So any of you can do it then, and let's say take a couple of extra dice for.
So who has the least stress is probably
you, by the sound of it. I've got 2.
1.
I've got 3.
And you've already rolled a couple of panics.
I have.
Yeah.
So let's let someone else have a go.
Fine, I'll dim the party then. Oh, excellent. Not 1 success. I'm going to have to push that.
Okay, so take another stress point.
No, nothing. You know what it is, and I really shouldn't say this, but this is the gaming mat I'm rolling on today. That's me definitely going to get kicked off the show
Adequate gaming
now.
mat for adequate players.
Okay, so
no successes whatsoever. Yeah.
Okay, you come out the control center. Then, as you come out of the control center, you don't see anybody in the hall here, but the door to the control center, the big metal door, does somewhat clang shut behind you, slightly noisily. Are you just heading up here straight for the towards the lifts? Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's a door to the geology lab.
Yes.
Are there any locks on it?
Well,
Or can I try and jam it shut?
I think there are probably locks on it. It's probably an electronic lock. Can you? Yeah, I think you need to make a contact roll or something because it's probably a code. So I think a contact roll if you want to lock it.
Okay, contact. I'm not very good at that. But we're being stealthy, so I don't have time to ask for help. That's 0 successes.
So no, it does. You look at it, it does actually just need a code to put in. You don't know what the code is, so you can't lock it.
Tempted to just smash the panel in, but
I mean, you would know even if you did that, the doors are pretty easy to open manually. They don't need kind of power or anything. You can just pull them open.
Then I won't bother wasting time. We heading onwards then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you come into this kind of hallway here towards the ready room. Again, don't see any signs of anyone else. And
can I wait at that corner?
This kind of corner here, yes.
Yeah, just until I know the lift is there and ready for us.
Yes, you can.
And just sit with my rifle ready.
Okay. Yeah, I'll call a lift down. And
before you do, that you have got the airlocks to get through, and when you get there, you find that the airlock doors appear to be locked, appear to be shut. And if you press the button to open them, they don't open because they do need power to open normally.
What about the little airlock next to the mess hall?
This one here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that have a manual cycle?
It does have a manual cycle. I think you could open the door, probably open the doors manually. But so that airlock, the outer door of that airlock, opens straight into the sea.
And we're 200 meters down.
So
yeah.
So that airlock, you would have to cycle that to go through. So these airlocks by the lifts, they're kind of precautionary in case there's a breach further up. In the lift shafts, this airlock I guess it's an emergency thing because people aren't generally going out.
Compression suits have air.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, these compression suits.
Oh, hello.
So these compression suits, they're kind of full vacuum suits basically, which do work underwater. 200 meters down, and they're definitely not designed to work under that kind of external pressure. You think that they might survive for a little time. It might be enough to get you up to the top, but they're not.
How much heavier are they? Are we just going to sink? Are we not going to be able to swim up? That's the other thought that I'm having.
Survival ability, yeah. I can probably think, how can we survive? Look for safety to try and get back.
So, I mean, you could try. You think you could swim? I mean, they're not like massively heavy, so you'll be. They're slightly encumbering, so they reduce your agility. But that is something you could try, but you obviously need to be able to get out there first. And you could probably get the airlock doors open, but the actual cycling of the water through the airlock would probably need some power to do it.
Can we I mean, we've automatically just kind of jumped to doing the external airlock, the emergency one. Can we manually open the airlocks to the lifts instead?
You could try, yeah. There seems to be some sort of, with the power glitching, there seems to be some sort of safety protocol that's kind of locked them down. But I think you can try. I think it would probably take a ComTech roll to override that.
Yes, please. I would appreciate that over a heavy machinery because I'm a corporate agent.
Oh, heavy machinery I've got.
6 from me. No, it'll be actually 6 in the skill from me on ComTech.
I'm on 7 for contact plus my stress.
Yeah, I'm no good at contact, so I'll just keep on the Overwatch.
Great.
So I'll help with a dice if that's.
I appreciate it. And that is 2 successes.
Okay, yeah. So you can you kind of have a quick look at the panel by the side, which just has emergency power. Yeah, and you can see there is some kind of safety protocol that's kicked in, but you can override that quite easily and enable manual control of the opening. These doors are quite heavy. I think that will take heavy machinery roll to physically pull the door open.
Okay.
That could be anyone.
No, I can do that, but it means dropping my guard.
Well, let's swap places. I'll enter Overwatch with my Magnum, with my revolver.
Well,
Right, and I will start pulling at the door.
and I will. The only thing I can't really help you with the heavy machinery with that pulling, but I can just do a quick check with the motion tracker. Make sure nothing.
Okay, do you want to do your heavy machinery roll first for the door?
So that's 2 successes and 1 panic.
Okay, so roll for panic and 1d6 and add the number of stress dice that you've got.
It's 4.
Total of 4, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. Then you're holding it together. You get the airlock doors open. Dr. Xavier, you were doing another scan with a motion tracker, yes?
Yep.
Okay, roll for the power.
No ones, and I did get a 6, but I don't think that means anything in the battery power. So
No, doesn't. Just the one is. Okay, so you're still getting quite a lot of movement from in the reactor room. You also get a couple of pings from the rec room and the maintenance room, and they're not moving particularly purposefully, but it does look like potentially they are kind of heading towards the doors for those rooms, so they might be beginning to head your way.
I think they're attracted to my sound. Their sight must be really blunt because I think they're hearing us. If we try and go very quiet, maybe they'll settle down again.
So no, you've got the airlock doors. One set of airlock doors open, whichever ones you decide, and you can get through to the lift lobby.
Is the lift there?
The lift is there in one of them because you came down in it, and nobody's obviously been up again since. So the lift is there.
Well, Doctor, it's all very good and well if they're, and I'm whispering a little as I'm saying this, if you think they're attracted to sound, but we need to get a message up to the Dipper.
Yeah, get the message up quick.
Are we taking the lift up then, or?
Yeah, let's do it. Drop Overwatch as I head towards the lift.
Okay, you press the button in the lift, and nothing happens.
Power.
There's no power to the lift. The lift is not working.
Is it like a platform sort of lift, or is it like an enclosed unit?
It's enclosed.
Okay. So I'm guessing there's going to be a flap at the top. So I'm going to suggest that we open that up and get up, and we can take a ladder because lift shafts all have ladders.
I have emergency ladder. So Before we do that, is there anything with the pressure, or are we going to be impacted by pressure because we are underwater? This is the only other thing I'm thinking here. Are we that deep that we're going to be impacted by pressure? Or is that just for the rise that we should start feeling it?
Well, hopefully if we're climbing a ladder manually, I mean, we didn't feel it on the way down.
No.
So we
No,
probably
and you would
wouldn't
know
feel it
that
on the way
the lift shafts would be pressurized, so you think it would be fine.
It's fine. Okay.
down. Okay. So yeah, we open up the roof and
Okay,
head up.
so
into the
yeah, I
shaft,
think you'll
guess.
need to probably do a mobility roll or something to get for whoever's going to go up there, because I think he'll need a bunk up to get up to the thing and climb out.
I've got 4 mobility, but I'm happy to lend a hand.
Or if one of you two want to go up, and I'll keep Overwatch while you do so.
All right.
So I think we were all pretty bad at mobility.
Delanoy, I'll give you.
Yeah, I mean, if you're
leg up.
climbing,
All right. Okay.
bear in mind if you are climbing a 180 meter high ladder, which is effectively what you're doing, then there will be some mobility required. Obviously, there will be kind of safety platforms at various points up there, but it's a long way.
It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll.
Climb the corporate ladder. Even in the UPP, they still have ladders you have to climb up to get to the top.
Yeah.
Just in case if anyone's listening outside the walls. So mobility, okay. Yeah, no extra dice or anything.
+1. Yeah,
Plus
with
one extra dice.
plus
Okay,
1.
go. Yep.
I'm helping you up.
Okay, now I can't complain about the map because I changed the dice tray and no successes on this one. Ah! So Zoo will be happy to say that I can't complain about the dice tray anymore. Right, that's a bit better. That's 2 successes, but unfortunately 1 panic.
Okay, so roll your panic.
That is a total of 5. I got rolling a 2 and I had 3 stress. So
fine, then keeping it together. You managed to get up through the hatch, and yeah, the lift shaft rises into the distance above you. There is an access ladder there. Colonel Graff, you were kind of on Overwatch, weren't you? Where else were you? Were you still on this corner here?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, you do then suddenly see a couple of these kind of zombified people coming around from each side of this and heading towards you.
I'll turn my head back to check how they're going on and let them know that we've got company.
Yeah, I think they've got whoever's going up through the hatch.
In which case, I'll go, Campbell, we got company. How do you want to play this?
Fall back to the airlock. But,
Right.
shoot them while you do so. That's my suggestion.
Whatever you say. Yeah, I'll start falling back.
Aggressively.
Well, no, I'm not going to open fire just yet. I'm going to fall back to because we came in the left-hand airlock, didn't we?
Yep.
So I'll fall back to the right-hand one and use the corner there for a bit of cover. And just check that they are still coming this way.
Yeah, they are still coming this way. Not too fast, but pretty steadily.
Are any of them armed?
Not as far as you can see, no.
Yeah, I'm going to do, I think, again, my shout out to them of halt or I'll open fire, which I guess gets no response.
It gets no response.
I'm going to spend a second to aim at the nearest one.
Yep.
And
Tony,
then
I've taken down the map, by the way, for now.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
and then I think open fire on the first one.
Okay. Ranged combat roll then.
I've got the aiming. Let's hope this is better. Oh, I like that. That's 3 successes. So that's 2. And my rifle has a base damage of 2. So that's 4 damage if I go for all damage. Or what other stunts have I got? Can I... How many of them are there again?
You can see 4 at the moment.
Am I allowed to target extra people with those successes, or does it have to be?
And only if you're full auto, really, I think.
Oh, okay.
And that's
I wasn't sure.
If that's Coriolis or Alien full auto, because they're different. But
yeah, I can distribute them to additional on full auto.
Yeah.
Okay, I was hoping to pin them all down. Sod it, the straight 4 damage to one of them. Because I've seen that they keep coming.
Yeah, that hits quite hard. I mean, that was, and you in the right in the chest, and you kind of think normally that most people that would just take them down if they weren't armored, but it kind of staggers a bit, but keeps coming. And they're getting quite close now. They're probably going to get kind of close with you within the next round, unless you move.
Yeah. I'll fall back to our airlock and then take up a covering fire position. I think it's going to have to be full auto next round.
Cool. At this point, Delanoy is in the shaft, but I don't know that he's helped me up yet.
I think once the shaft
to
actually
you.
open, it's probably easier to get up. It's getting up there to get it open was the hard thing. Once it's open, it kind of flaps down. There's probably kind of handles on it that make it easier to climb up. So I think
Okay.
once the hatch is actually open, it's probably much easier. You probably can get up there without any help.
Okay, cool. I'm just gonna say to Graf, we're heading up the shaft. Don't be a hero.
Not a problem. I'm going to see if I can drop a couple of them and I'm right behind you.
All right.
Okay,
yeah,
so
I will head up into the shaft.
Okay. Craig, then I think you can have one more shot before we would need to go into initiative before they get you. So,
right, full
are you
auto.
full
then.
autoing?
Can't aim on a full auto, I assume.
Let me just check that. I think you can. I mean, full auto is still just a slow action. So
Okay.
I think you can aim and full auto.
Right, full auto with an aim then. Let's see, that's 12 dice.
Your stress level immediately increases by 1 if you've taken that into account.
Yep, I've added that already.
Unless you have a talent that lets you not.
No, but I can Yeah, no, my talent's strength based, so see how this goes. Right, well, that's only one success. No panic, so I think I'm going to push it. That's better. So that's 4 successes total. I've got the base damage of 2, so that's 5 damage potentially.
Yeah, if you hit a second target, the first success that you assign to them, they take the damage rating again of the weapon for the first hit on each target, basically.
Well, in that case, I'm going to put 1 damage on the one that I shot already, and then that will be 4 damage on on the next one as well.
Yeah. Okay. So you shoot them again. They probably, it's a hit that's definitely hard enough to really hurt them, but they don't really seem to even notice. Not they notice they've been hit and they're bleeding quite badly, but they don't seem to be registering the pain, and they're still coming.
I will just start swearing in German, and which I don't know any, but Graf would. And then try and get up the hatch before I get grabbed.
I will offer him a hand.
Okay, as you're being chased by a bunch of zombies, I think I will ask you for a mobility roll to do that quickly. You can get some help from Mr. Campbell, who's helping you.
Abilities. Oh, I'm at 4 stress here, so
+1 base die.
Yeah. Oh, that's 2 successes and 1 panic die.
So, roll your panic.
It comes out on a 7 on the panic.
Okay, you get a nervous twitch. Your stress level and the stress level of all friendly PCs in short range, which I think is all of you, increases by 1. But you successfully get up the out of the lift into the lift shaft before the zombies reach you. They do kind of run into the lift behind you, and they do look like they're trying to scrabble up through the thing as well. So
we close the hatch.
The hatch is flapping down, and they're now at the bottom of it. So the hatch drops down into the lift. So you could try, but there are a bunch of zombies around trying to climb up it.
Can I shoot them in the face?
Shooting fish in a barrel.
Shoot them in the face.
What crazy world would you think killing something like that in the head?
To reload, because you panicked on your last shot, didn't you? So that would have emptied.
No, I didn't panic on the shot. I panicked on the climbing up.
Oh, you did. It was on the climb, yeah, not the shot. So yeah, fine. Yeah, you can shoot them in the head.
Full auto in Alien, doesn't that also expend the clip, or is that just Coriolis?
No, that's just Coriolis.
Okay.
I have in front of me. You don't. Yeah, so it doesn't automatically empty the clip. No, only if you rolled a panic.
Yeah. Cool. I'm going to full auto at the fish in the barrel.
Okay, I think because it's so, like say, it is fish in a barrel. They're just sitting down there. I think I'll give you +2 dice for that shot.
Nice. Right. Well, that's me now up to 6 stress.
Yes.
What could possibly
go wrong? You're really making up for Dave's dry spell.
I'm dreading that Coriolis game.
Oh, I like that very much. 1, 2. So I do have 1 panic, but I also have 5 successes. So that's So that's 6 damage. Oh no, but I'm going to split it. How much across the 2 nearest? So I think that's 5 damage on each of them.
Okay. In that case, you need to roll a couple of crits
Nice.
for them.
Is that a D6 or a D66?
D66.
So that's a 56 for the first one.
Okay, yeah, you've basically hit them in the spine and they go down.
And then for the second one, that's a 34.
And that's gouged eye, shot them in the eye, but they go down. The one you shoot in the eye, as you hit it, their head kind of doesn't quite explode, but instead of kind of blood spurting out where you'd expect it to see, it looks like a little burst of spores come out instead.
Ah, shit.
But those 2 are down, and actually I think the other ones probably, even though they're not really conscious, that probably start losing interest again and wandering off. So yeah, you think that the threat from the zombies is.
And then that's a 9 on my panic roll.
9. So I don't think that's bad enough to fail the action, which actually is a possibility with panic. But you drop an item. So whether by stress, confusion, or the realization that you're all about to die, which you hopefully not, you drop an important item or weapon. You drop your pulse rifle down the lift shaft.
See, I was going to suggest I drop the my final spare mag, so the pulse rifle's useless.
But then you're probably not carrying that. You're carrying the pulse rifle, and you drop it, and it drops down to the bottom of the lift. Now the zombies, there are still some zombies milling about there. Yeah, Mr. Tyler Jones in the comments does make the valid point. The panic should be rolled before you do the damage.
Oh well,
because it can completely fail. But anyway, he didn't fail, so it's fine. Yeah. So,
Graf, leave it. It's more important that you make it out than anything else. Like going back for your pulse rifle. A proper team will come back. They'll be able to reclaim it. They'll clear this place out. We've just got to climb up this shaft.
Shu is going to have me cleaning latrines for a month.
Well,
at the best of it.
We can do something about that when we cross that bridge.
Right now, more important things, and you're going to help us at least protect the colony, because until we find out more, we're going to have to warn everybody out.
So, are you just still standing on top of the lift and having this discussion?
Nope.
No, he's halfway up.
Are any of you still got compression suits on?
No, we took the compression suits off, but we never really got the chance to put them on, did we?
No.
So
we're just climbing.
Is it survival or stamina or?
Well, for climbing, it'll be mobility.
Mobility, but So
Are you wanting all of
individual?
us to make this, or
Yeah, because you're all individually climbing, I think, are you not? So yeah, you'll need to make your own
Excellent.
individual.
4 for the mobility and 4 for the stress.
Same.
4 for mobility, 7 for stress?
Ooh. You're last, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
good point. What order are you going up in? That is a good point.
Well, I was probably up ahead, so I'd
Okay.
be at the top.
And who's in the middle?
Yeah.
Who's in the middle?
I'll go in the middle. I got
Okay.
1 success, but I'm going to push.
Bear in mind, if you panic, you
Go ahead, say it, because I'm about to tell you something.
I got
Okay.
2 successes and a
So-
panic.
So I got 2 success,
Yep.
1 panic. I
Yep.
rolled the panic from there.
Yep.
I rolled a. I had
6.
4 to that. So I get
10.
Oh.
I'll top you on that. I've just hit 12 on the panic roll.
12.
Yeah,
Okay, so
I rolled
10. Xavier,
Okay.
you just freeze. You're frozen by fear or stress for 1 round. Your stress level and the stress level of all the friendly PCs in short range, because everyone increases by 1.
Share the love. We're rolling 9 dice.
So if you roll a 10 or higher, which you do on a panic roll, if it's a skill check for an action, the action's cancelled and immediately replaced by the forced panic action. So as you're freezing, I'm not going to make you fall off the ladder because you're still hanging on to the ladder, but
I'm blocking it.
you're frozen. You're blocking it. So John, you were in the middle, weren't you?
Yeah.
How did you do?
I got 2 successes and no panic.
So you're fine. Craig.
It was that push.
So my panic roll result was 12. So I counter out the +1 panic that you just gave me because I let out a scream.
Yeah, you scream your lungs out for 1 round. Your stress level is decreased by 1, but every friendly character who hears you scream must make an immediate panic roll.
Oh, brilliant. Excellent. So I'll be adding 5 to this. Well, the good news is it's not a 6. It is a 2. So that makes a total of 7.
I also got a 7.
So 7, nervous twitches. Your stress level and the stress level of all friendly PCs in short range increases by 1. So
2 each.
So my panic's just gone up by 2.
again, as you're climbing this ladder, I think you're kind of seeing the height you're getting to. You're beginning to wonder whether this was a good idea.
I forgot how much fun the alien stress mechanic is. It's brilliant. It's just spiraling. I love it.
So you haven't got any zombies coming up after you, so you can pause for a second. I don't think you feel safe, so you can't get rid of any stress. But you can pause, and then you can try again to move on up the ladder with a mobility roll.
I'm just going to point out I'm at 9 stress.
I'm on 7, so I'm not that far behind you.
8. So obviously you'll have to make up the middle just so we can get a straight here,
I will let you. Basically, given the time, if one of you makes it up, that will do. You can get a rope or something and come down and help the others. And you can get Matey Boy to help from the dipper. So if one of you makes it.
Are we all rolling this mobility?
I'll climb over Delanoy if I have to.
We're all rolling.
2 successes, but I rolled panic.
Oh, you got to be kidding me! All those dice. 1 success, 1 panic.
5 successes. 1
5
panic.
successes, 1 panic. Okay, roll your panic then.
That's another 12.
Yeah, you're still screaming.
10.
You freeze.
14.
14.
So I'm gonna look up for another character while you're doing this. By the way.
You must immediately attack the nearest person or creature, friendly or not.
What?
On a ladder.
You won't stop
Accidentally
until
kicks
you or the
my
target
hand.
is broken.
Well, yeah, okay, because Ash is climbing up and trying to get past Delanoy, because Delanoy's not moving fast enough. Delanoy is probably panicking in fear, thinking, you're trying to push me off. You're not going to push me off. Damn you, Zentai, trying to push me off, and fights back and tries kicking and pushing back at Campbell. And that's the only way I can really think how that would work in this situation.
Okay, cool then. Make an opposed close combat roll.
Do we need to make panic rolls for this? Is what seeing this?
Every friendly character witnesses your own page. Well, I think you probably do. I think because you're watching this.
Do I? Because it's happening to me.
Yeah, you're not throwing me down
You're
there.
not witnessing it. You're kind of taking part in it. So I think you probably don't at this point.
Okay.
In fact, I'll even scream. Yeah, I know. It's you and Zoo. You're talking about that. You're going to betray Lasalle. Everything. Get off. You're just trying to kill me now.
Well, I just rolled 13 on the panic roll.
Wow. 3 successes, 2 panic.
3 successes, no panic.
Oh man.
Okay, well, I think you're good then, John, to avoid being pushed off the ladder. But Bruce, you should roll your panic.
13, so it's not as bad as the last
So
time.
13, that's the same as Craig got, isn't it? You got 13 as well. So 13 is flee. You just can't take it anymore. You must flee to a safe place and refuse to leave it. You won't attack anyone and won't attempt anything dangerous.
Well,
but I think, given that it's got 11 now, I think I'm going to let you flee up the ladder, somewhat recklessly.
Yeah, maybe
that's the only place that you can think that's safe that you would head for.
Yeah, Campbell is probably got past by now because he's kicked him at the side and just
I think you scrambled past him, tried to kick him off as you went past, but failed to do that. But I think I'm going to give you that. You're going to flee up the ladder back to the dipper, which is the only place you can think of in it that's safe.
Oh man!
And when you get up there, Andre's sitting there in his chair reading a book, going, "Oh, how'd it go then?"
Zombies! Zombies! We've got to quarantine this place. You can't dig it out unless somebody knocks Delanoy out, or does it as a command roll to cause panic. That would be a situation because we really still should be quarantining this, but yeah.
I'm gonna kind of like take Delanoy and I'm just gonna like snap out of it, man. Okay, we need to. We've got to lock off the other dipper, and we head out. Once we lock off the other, do we from up here? Do we have access to the other dipper, or is this one of those we needed to be in the other lift shaft?
Well, if it was half an hour earlier, I might make that happen. But it's on 11 now. You can get access to the other dipper.
Great. I suggest we lock that off. Maybe put an additional command line password or something on the actual dipper.
Yeah, that's fine. I think you can do something like that. Well, I'm not going to make you roll or anything for that. No, I think you can do that. And you can head back.
Head back to Solovetsky Island.
Solovetsky Island.
In shame.
Port.
So as you head back to Solovetsky Island, are you going to let them know before you get there and suggest that you need to go into quarantine?
Yeah,
as you were suggesting?
I was going to suggest quarantine, but I'm also going to suggest on an all-out broadcast, because we don't know the location and we never really verified if Drubov and Genu are there, that there could very well be possible infection, quarantine, and place Drubov, Yejin, if anyone has come across them, a risk, and we try and do a broadband for safety. It's not just to the base; it could be to the other colonies. Abergin as well was one of the other people. Just reading from the names, just trying to remember. I know he's
in custody,
but still, he should be locked down, quarantined for safety. There is a potential risk that there is an infection, a fungi infection. A Kursk outpost base has been compromised effective. Do not go down without compromise.
So you're basically kind of fully reporting the risk. You're not trying to.
Yeah, and broadcasting it out to anybody else who might be elsewhere.
Okay, that's cool. There's just one more thing I'm going to do before we close. And do experience is I need you all to make a stamina roll. Now forget your stress. Forget your stress. One at a time.
Okay, good. Okay, that's good.
So don't roll stress. Just roll your basic stamina skill. So if we do it one at a time, so it's a strength skill. Yeah. And tell me how many successes you get. You can't push these.
Okay.
So
1.
None.
1.
And 1, Craig.
Yep.
And just okay. Thank you. I think, given the time now, we should leave it there. That you get back, and I think you probably are met
locked
at locked up, taken into quarantine. And then as we can work out what happens later, let's quickly run through experience for the session.
We had a question from Mohammed on YouTube.
Yep.
Do we do story points in this campaign? I don't think we do we?
I thought they were cinematic, not for...
I'm not sure whether story points apply in...
Campaigns. Maybe they're just cinematic.
Let me quickly look that up.
So my understanding is they are player rather than character related.
Yes, they are.
It might well be just for cinematics rather than...
Yeah, it does say so. Story points in a cinematic scenario, you can spend a story point to get an automatic success.
Okay.
You've gained story points by following your personal agenda. Yeah, that does suggest it's for cinematic scenarios only, not for not
okay,
for
cool.
That's right. That's cool.
So experience then, we should run through the questions. Did you participate in the game session? Yes, 1 point for each of you. Did you risk or sacrifice something to further your personal agenda? Now, I don't really know what your personal agendas are particularly, so
Well,
judge for
my
yourself.
personal agenda is keep your team safe, but don't draw attention to yourself. So I would say I attempted that.
I mean, you did risk or sacrifice something. You did go and fight the zombies.
I sacrificed my
Probably
rifle.
you can probably take one for that, Jonathan.
Mine is my personal agenda is I think the company's holding information back from me. So trying to figure out what, but I don't know that necessarily got answered.
No. Did you risk or
Today?
sacrifice something to further that?
No.
I'm not sure. Okay, next question is: did you risk your life for your buddy PC? I'd probably
No.
extend that to anybody. Did you challenge or stand up to your rival PC? Probably doesn't really apply. Did you make a panic roll? You all made a panic roll.
Oh, yeah.
Did you overcome a dangerous event using violent or non-violent means? I think that's yes, you did.
Nice.
Did you make a significant discovery or revelation? Well, I think you all did, yeah. If you discovered this infection at the base, I think that's a yes for that one. Did you perform an extraordinary action of some kind? Possibly not. And did you earn any money? Not.
No.
So, yeah. That
Great.
all make...
Thank you very much.
And I think that's where we should leave it for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That
Well done, everyone. That
did not go
was
how I
very badly.
expected.
Let's say goodbye, and I'll end the broadcast.
Right.
Bye. Cheers for watching,
Bye
anyone.
bye.